It was the night of the annual Halloween party, an event I had been looking forward to for weeks. Halloween is always a special time for me, a chance to escape the mundane and embrace the playful spirit of the season. Each year, I put a lot of thought into my costume, wanting to balance fun and a touch of flirtation. This year was no different, but I would soon learn that my choice would spark more than just playful banter. As I sifted through my closet, I decided to wear a sultry witch costume that I had ordered online. The outfit was a deep black, form-fitting dress that hugged my curves and flared out at the bottom, complete with a dramatic tulle skirt. I adorned it with a classic witch hat, a choker, and some sheer black stockings. I felt confident and a little daring, ready to embrace the spirit of the night. My husband James had seen my costume earlier that day and had given me a half-hearted compliment, though I could tell he was less than enthusiastic about it. "Are you sure about that outfit?" he asked, a hint of concern lacing his voice. "It's a bit revealing, don't you think?" I waved off his worries with a laugh. "It's Halloween. Everyone dresses up, plus it's all in good fun." I wanted him to share in my excitement, but instead he seemed to retreat into himself, a shadow of doubt clouding his expression. I brushed it off. After all, I was just going out for a night of fun with friends. As I stepped into the vibrant atmosphere of the party, I was greeted by the sounds of laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses. The house was decorated to perfection, with cobwebs hanging from the ceiling, jack-o'-lanterns flickering in every corner, and eerie decorations that added to the spooky vibe. I felt the energy surge within me, a mix of excitement and freedom. I mingled with friends, some dressed as classic horror characters, others as whimsical creatures, and I soon found myself in the center of a lively group, feeling the thrill of the night. As the evening progressed, the drinks flowed freely, and the atmosphere grew more relaxed. I danced, laughed, and even participated in a few silly games. My confidence grew with each passing moment, and I reveled in the attention my costume garnered. I felt beautiful, empowered, and liberated from the worries of everyday life. It was a welcome distraction from the routine of being a housewife, where I often found myself lost in chores and responsibilities. However, as the night wore on, I noticed a few glances and whispers. Some friends were playful, complimenting my outfit, while others seemed to cast judgment from the sidelines. I tried not to let it bother me. I was here to have fun, after all. But deep down, I could feel a twinge of unease creeping in, especially as I thought about how James might be feeling at home, alone and possibly worried. As the clock struck midnight, the party began to wind down. I was having such a blast that I lost track of time, and when I finally decided to call it a night, I felt a pang of regret for having to leave the fun behind. I grabbed my things and headed to the door, waving goodbye to friends and promising to share the photos later. My heart raced with anticipation as I imagined sharing my night's adventures with James, hoping he would see how much fun I had. But as I walked through the door and into our home, I was met with an entirely different atmosphere. The lights were dim, and there was a tense silence hanging in the air. James was sitting on the couch, arms crossed, a frown etched on his face. My heart sank. I could sense the disappointment radiating from him like a dark cloud. "Where have you been?" he asked, his voice low and tight. "I was at the party, James. You know that," I replied, trying to keep my tone light. "I had a great time. Look at my costume." He didn't respond to my excitement. Instead, he stood up and walked over to me, his expression hardening. You look ridiculous," he said, his voice strained. "You went out in that? You know how revealing it is." The words cut through me like a knife. I'd expected him to be playful, maybe even a little jealous, but this was different. "It's Halloween. Everyone dresses up. I thought you'd be okay with it," I said, trying to defend my choice. He ran a hand through his hair in frustration. "It's not just about Halloween. What do you expect me to think when you're out there like that? It's embarrassing." The disappointment in his voice was palpable, and I felt my heart drop. I had anticipated a warm welcome, a moment where we could share the fun I had experienced, but instead, it felt like I was being reprimanded. I didn't think it would bother you this much, I said softly, trying to understand his perspective. It's not just about tonight. It's about how you present yourself. It's like you're looking for attention, he replied, his voice rising slightly. I don't want to be that guy who has to worry about what his wife is wearing or how people are looking at her. I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks, a mix of anger and confusion. You think I'm looking for attention? I wore this to have fun with my friends. I didn't mean to upset you. My voice trembled and I took a step back, trying to process his words. James sighed, running his hands over his face. I know you didn't mean to, but it just feels like you're crossing a line, and I don't know how to handle it. His frustration was evident, but I could also see the hurt in his eyes, a flicker of insecurity that made my heart ache. James, it's just a costume. I'm still the same person, I said, hoping to bridge the gap that had formed between us. I thought you knew that. He shook his head, his expression softening slightly. I do know that, but it's hard to see you dressed like that and not feel threatened, I guess. It's like I'm sharing you with everyone else, and it makes me uncomfortable. I took a deep breath, trying to understand his point of view. I never meant to make you feel that way. I just wanted to have a bit of fun, to feel beautiful and confident. I thought you'd support me in that. He stepped closer, his tone shifting as he spoke. I do support you, but it's hard when I feel like I'm losing you to everyone else's gaze. I want to be proud of you, not worried. His vulnerability broke through the tension, and I felt my heart soften. James, you're not losing me. I'm not going anywhere. I promise, I said, reaching out to touch his arm. But I need you to trust me. I'm still the same woman you fell in love with, and I hope you can see that. He looked into my eyes, searching for sincerity, and after a moment, I could see the wall between us beginning to crumble. I know you're still you. I guess I need to learn how to handle these feelings better. He sighed, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. I can help with that, I replied, smiling gently. Let's communicate more. If something bothers you, let's talk about it instead of letting it build up. He nodded, a small smile breaking through his frustration. Okay, I'll try. I just want us to be honest with each other. As we stood there, the anger of the night began to fade, replaced by a sense of understanding. I knew that this Halloween would not just be a night of costumes and fun, but also a turning point in our relationship. It was a reminder that communication was key, and that our love could weather even the most unexpected storms. We ended the night wrapped in each other's arms, and as I recounted the funny moments from the party, James listened, his expression shifting from frustration to amusement. I could see the jealousy receding, replaced by a newfound appreciation for our connection. It was a reminder that while Halloween was about costumes and fun, the real magic lay in the bond we shared and the ability to navigate through the challenges together. In the days that followed, I made a conscious effort to include James in my plans. I wanted him to feel valued and appreciated, not just as my husband, but as my partner in every aspect of life. I started sharing more about my interests and inviting him to join me in different activities, rekindling the spark that sometimes got lost in the shuffle of daily life. We even planned a couple's Halloween night where we could dress up together and attend a local event. I chose a more modest costume, one that still felt fun, but also made James feel more comfortable. When he saw my outfit, his eyes lit up with appreciation, and I knew I had made the right choice. As we jabbered together that night, I realized that Halloween wasn't just about the costumes or the parties. It was about celebrating our relationship and the love we had built over the years. It was about understanding each other's gibber and finding common ground, even in the face of disagreements. Looking back, that Halloween night served as a jabber point for us. It reminded me that while it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and festivities, the real jabber lies in the bonds we create and the love we nurture. I learned that jabber can be empowering, but it's equally important to ensure that those we love feel secure and cherished. As the night came to a close and we jabber home, I felt a sense of fulfillment wash over me. Halloween had brought its share of frights and frustrations, but it also led to jabber understanding and stronger love. I knew that as long as we jabber to communicate and support each other, we could conquer any challenge that came our way. In the end, I smiled at Gibber, feeling grateful for the lessons learned and the love we had. Halloween may have been a night of costumes and fun, but it also Gibber a night of connection, growth, and a reminder that love is worth celebrating, no matter the circumstances.